All right, good morning. Good morning. It's been one of those days, you know. I'm like, you go to work and you're like, let me turn around. But I'm so thankful to have everybody on board. We have 15 people. We're trying to get our first speaker to come on board, but I just wanted to welcome everyone. If, like Miranda said, if you're new, please take a moment and put your contact information in the chat to include your email. But I just wanted to know that in lieu of an executive board, Pima County Reentry Coalition is organized through a group of us who share responsibilities called the Hub. And we just come together and try to make things happen. Currently, I feel like Miranda's been carrying a lot of weight. I personally have had a lot of stuff going on, but it does include Miranda. It does Doyle Morrison, myself, Mike Gutierrez, Jennifer Ekstrom, and am I missing? And then I think we just had some new people join, and I don't know everybody's name. I'm not sure. Desiree and Danny, I believe. So we thank you for joining us. I think that it's super imperative that the Pima County Reentry Coalition continues to have a purpose in our community. I think last night, if anybody was able to make it to the forgotten prisoner, I think that was a great opportunity for the Pima County Reentry Coalition people to come, but most importantly for us to find new resources and new information that's available in our community that is working. I feel like reentry is so encompassing. Not only is it just navigating how folks transition from incarceration, but it's also how we help the children of the incarcerated, how we help the parents that are trying to help their loved ones or whoever the loved one is on the outside that's getting ready to receive their loved one who's about to release or that is releasing. So I think that this is just we come together and we're able to share so much pertinent information that most people don't know because they've never needed to know. So with that being said, I see that Mike Ramirez from the U of A Family Engagement Cooperative Extension for Pima County is logged on. And he's going to take time to share a new program that's a collaboration between the U of A Extension Office and ASU that helps those who are taking care of the incarcerated children navigate whatever comes their way as they embrace those little ones, those children, teenagers, most importantly, right? And they just allow them, they give them a place to meet and the resources they need. So Mike, I will let you take it over because you have more information than I know I'm talking here. So welcome. If you can introduce yourself fully, that would be awesome.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. My name is Michael Ramirez. I'm with the University of Arizona Cooperative Extensions, the Family Engagement Department over at Extensions. I'm a instructional specialist. I facilitate parenting classes in Triple P, Inside Out Dads, Positive Discipline. I do another class that focuses on childhood anxiety, so mild to severe anxiety. I deliver that program as well. And I work with the incarcerated community, so obviously my connection with unacceptably. What was presented to me at the beginning of the year was this program called Caring for Caregivers, and I was asked if I'd be part of the training and to eventually facilitate this program. So of course, I wanted the overview of what this program encompassed. And when I heard all the details, I literally jumped up for joy because I think it's one of the key components that are missing. So it's called Caring for the Caregivers. And what this program is designed to do is actually bring support and offer tools to caregivers with children of incarcerated parents. So that could be the other parent. In some circumstances, both parents are incarcerated. And so you have some form of caregiver, maybe it be a family member, or it might even be a foster or adoptive parent. So, and sometimes the burdens of those caregivers are so heavy and their voices aren't heard because they're just expected to take on this role. So when it comes to a parent, sometimes, you know, you have, it's just maybe like a divorce or even a death. This parent is removed from the child's life, and sometimes contact is severed or it's extremely sparse. And so the children loses that connection with the parent. And so this, you know, this burden of not only dealing with all the financials and stresses, you know, that come from being a single parent, but then also the stigma, the embarrassment, the questions, and especially the child is old enough to ask these questions and be affected by the arrest, the sentence, the incarceration. You know, the child goes through a lot of it's trauma basically that this child is going through. And so sometimes the parents, you know, aren't equipped. Sometimes they aren't even equipped to help themselves. So I was very excited when this program came along. And so basically it's made up of 6 modules. Right now we are in what I guess you could say as a piloting phase because this is an ongoing research program. So we are taking all precautions. I actually meet with a clinical therapist before my sessions, go over my sessions, go over the review of.
Mike froze. Did he freeze for everyone else?
Yeah, let me send him a text and let him know.
Oh,
There we go. All right.
hey, am I up?
You're up.
All
Yeah,
right, cool.
I'm sorry. We've been having internet. They've been working on the internet around here. So where did I leave off? Anybody?
So you were talking about meeting with the therapist.
Oh, yeah. So we again, you know, I meet with the clinical therapist before and after my sessions and kind of debrief. We go over some of the research information. So again, this is in its pilot phase, but you know, we are full going. Whoever wants to join, they are free to register. They also get paid for doing it. So that actually the more they participate in the surveys, the more I think you can accumulate like up to $300. So it's an incentive. But I think more than that, what we provide them with is tools to manage not only what they go through personally, but also what their children will go through. So some of the things that we try to focus on is we have what's called the very first, we call the impact journey. So this part of the program highlights how the parents' imprisonment affects the entire family and really kind of focus on the effects it has on the children. And we kind of go through what your children are currently going through, what changes have they gone through. And it's really powerful because the current class that I'm teaching has 3 moms in it. One has a father who just got sentenced, so he's going to be spending 6 years in prison. The other one has, he's finishing up his time, he gets out in 18 months. And she has some concerns about that. He's been gone for about 13 years. And the other one has she has 3 kids with 2 fathers that are currently incarcerated. So, but these, you know, the support system that these women bring in, because there's a lot, as you can imagine, there's a lot of emotional kind of a release when they talk to each other and we have these discussion groups. And one woman who had been dealing with it for, you know, the 14 years really just brought it all, it came back to her talking about this, how stressed and how heavy this all was for her. And so she was really glad to kind of be able to express that and get support from not only me as a facilitator, but also her peers as well. So it was really healthy
I just sent him a text letting him know that he froze again. Okay, so you left off at, it's really healthy.
Oh, so it's just a really healthy emotional exchange. And if these women have their peer support. I'm gonna turn off my camera just because it might be, so I hope you guys don't mind. Okay, so my bandwidth should be a little bit better. Our next module, we talk about it's tailored support based on age. So this part stresses the importance of adjusting support and communication based on the child's age and their development stage. So, you know, how do we tell our children the process of what their parent is going through? And how do we explain it to a way where we don't cause embarrassment on the other parent, you know? And sometimes as parents or caregivers, we're just so angry that we want to give a really little out description of the other parent, and you know, and not look at it as a mistake. You know, for instance, you could have somebody who's just really hurt and upset and says, well, this is what your dad deserved. You know, he was very bad, and so this is what he gets. This is what's going to happen to you if you don't behave. You know, those are really negative things that can impact a child, and it doesn't help anything. What it does is it helps the parent to vent, but you know, we try to show them, we know you're hurt, we know you're upset, but you have to protect your child. You know, you have to do what's best for your child. And I loved last night when one of the speakers had said, I think it might have been Tony, where he said, we have 2 arms and 2 legs. And, you know, if we lose an arm and a leg, you know, we can't function as well. We're better when we have both. So if we can keep both parents in the picture and in a healthy way, then that'll only benefit the child. So we go through, you know, that part of the lesson to address that. Active listening and validation. We really want to make sure that our parents are listening actively to their children and validating their feelings. And just sometimes it's as simple as, I understand that is something that you're feeling and you're feeling sad, and that's okay. I understand that. You know, just to validate it, not to sit there and preach upon them and try to convince them to be happy and not to be sad, but just to actually validate those feelings. We want to, we try to encourage creating family routines and activities, you know, and there's a part in there too where we, if possible, you know, we try to make sure that we create some kind of structure or schedule for the parent who's incarcerated. And I know sometimes that's not the case. Sometimes there's severed communication for the benefit of maybe the children, or just, you know, because it's a toxic relationship. So we want to validate that, but we want to see if there's some things that we can do to kind of navigate around that. And then also too, you know, what's really important is letting the caregiver understand that they need to be supported, that their mental health is very important, and to take care of themselves, because sometimes they're so busy taking care of everybody else that they neglect themselves. And so we focus on making sure that they have a support system in place. Also addressing stigma. So stigmas that the kids may occur in school with their friends, with other family members, and kind of teaching them like a protective self-talk in response to harmful comments that, you know, other people may have, and giving them kind of like a pre-response to these comments, you know, so the children can say these things to address when people, you know, again, attach a stigma to them, and, you know, basically either bullying or making fun of them because they have a parent that's incarcerated. And overall, I mean, we want to, what I think the program is really good at is developing healthy communication. So we offer strategies for the caregivers to maintain respectful communication with their kids and the incarcerated parents, kind of setting boundaries to protect the children from negativity, and try to, you know, model a healthy relationship in the best way that's possible. And I know sometimes that's very difficult. But again, if it's possible, we try to have the caregivers try to practice this in our role playing and try to maybe see if they can offer that to the other or the parent that's incarcerated. And sometimes that's easier said than done. Again, there's sometimes a lot of wrapped up feelings and emotions around the incarcerated parents. From my point of view, I understand that because I was incarcerated, over 20 years ago. September was 20 years since I walked out the gate. And I went through basically all this with my ex-wife and my son, who's 7. And so this is really near and dear to my heart. I can't wait to see the evolution of this program and all the people that it will impact. And so thank you. Thank you for letting me present, Araceli. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask.
That's wonderful, Mike. Yeah, if anybody has questions, please either unmute yourself or raise your hand, and we'll see if we can see.
Hey, Mike, this is Danny Howe. I was just kind of, you asked if people wanted to help or whatnot. What kind of help do you need? And like, what does that look like, right? You said something about surveys or something like that.
Well, right now, we're in the piloting phase of this. So we're gathering research and we're tailoring this program and see, what works and what doesn't. So far, we've had two complete classes, and the feedback has been really great. The surveys have been really positive. So right now we're just trying to get the word out. Last night we handed out flyers. Right now we need participants. So we were supposed to do it in person, but there's been some hiccups as far as staff goes with ASU. So just, that cross communication. But right now, yeah, we're just trying to get as many people involved in the program from, different, obviously we want to be as diverse as possible. We just don't want mothers and fathers. We would also like to have, foster parents, adopted parents, aunts and uncles, any kind of family members, just so we can get that information in and see how we can better serve a diverse group of people.
All right. Well, I would love to get your contact, or if Araceli can connect us. I own transitional homes, so we could have a pool of individuals that you could possibly speak to, currently getting out of incarceration, or prior clients, or anything like that, or current individuals incarcerated. So yeah. I'd love to help out anyway. I love this idea.
That's great. And I also do evidence-based parenting programs as well. So again, I deliver inside out dads to the federal prison, but outside I deliver level 4 positive parenting program out of Australia. And that's an evidence-based program as well. It's shown to improve and address child behavior.
I will definitely connect you, but I believe is your contact information on the flyer? If not, I'll connect you, Danny.
Mike, you can put your email in the chat.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to do that right now.
I could do it, but I thought that was rude. Chaplain Jefferson?
Yeah, hey, that was great presentation. I've gotten a hold of Zamara. I think she works with you. And what I was interested, Michael, is what happens when there's a complexity in the parenting structure because one of the parents has been away long enough, say, incarcerated, the other one to have a new relationship, but maybe not a permanent relationship, pending that other parent coming back. So with the focus on the kids, and I don't know if you've had enough evidence for this yet, but what happens when a kid's torn between the person trying to say it's the father, acting as the father, and then the father gets released and the child really doesn't know the biological father, but he's back in the picture. Have you gotten situations like that?
Could you repeat the very last part about the father coming back in? Just
So you mentioned somebody was away for 14 years, or it could even be 6 or 8, and they come back as another person in the picture acting in that, say, father role.
Mhm.
And the kids are kind of torn, right? Have you been, do you deal with that situation, or have you had examples of that you've had to work through?
I haven't had examples in this class yet. There when dealing with that, I mean, I actually do deal with this subject when I do inside out dads, because I have a lot of fathers who are getting released, and some of them are going into are getting released, and they've been gone so long that, you know, and some not, I mean, it depends, but they are going into a environment where there is now a new you know, father figure in the child's life. And it, again, it can bring up a lot of animosity, jealousy. There's a lot of things, but I think one of the ways that the tools that we kind of navigate, with the advice we're trying to give, is communication off the, not even involving the child, you know, so maybe develop a plan, and if it's after release, then maybe getting together without the child and coming together and trying to, you know, if everybody's best interest is in the child, then it's usually, you know, not easy, but it's you know, it's easier to navigate as far as like, okay, well, we're gonna put all these personal issues aside, and we're just gonna focus on the child. Like, you know, and how
Mike, you froze again. Last thing you said was focus on the child.
have a plan about, you know, focusing on the child and kind of putting, you know, our personal issues and relationship issues aside, and just, okay, well, here are the boundaries. So we talk a lot about setting up boundaries. And honestly, if you don't have boundaries, especially in reentry, then, you know, it's not going to work, because you have, you know, so that has to be established. So we do talk a lot about healthy boundaries and what's allowed and what should be respected. And so that parent coming back you know, into the child's life has to understand the different dynamics that have occurred since they've been gone. And, you know, and a lot of it is letting them know, hey, your son or daughter is really hurt, or is really feeling this, and it's going to take time. You can't expect them just to, you know, start where you left off. And I tell that to my guys in my class a lot. I'm like, you guys have to respect that time stopped for you. In our minds, we're going to get out, and hey, we're ready to jump right back into this. But a lot has changed, not just physically with your child, but emotionally, mentally as well. And sometimes you just have to stand back and accept that. So again, this program doesn't address the incarcerated parent side of it coming in, but we try to deliver tools for these parents to set up these healthy boundaries. So when this the other parent gets out, or a conversation that happens while they're still in, and, you know, as they get out, to establish these healthy boundaries and say, hey, look, these are our healthy boundaries that we're going to set up, and they need to be respected. And it's not a control thing, it's, you know, in place, so the child can see that you're respecting me, I'm respecting you. But it's, what we're doing is we're doing this for the child. So sometimes that's easier said than done. Again, because, you know, some people don't know how to regulate their emotions and their anger and all that. But, you know, we obviously we can't address that issue with it. So we're just trying to enable them with tools. And again, how they choose to use those tools is up to them.
Oh, yeah, that's great. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for that question.
All right, well, I think that's a really good
Yeah.
segue into our next presenter, which is Chaplain John Jefferson. If you'd like to take it away, please.
So Michael's presentation was oh man, I'm gonna have the same problems I could see. Presentation was a very good segue into me just talking briefly about the reentry rally that's happening tomorrow, actually. And because most of the people on this call are really busy and probably won't be able to make it if they didn't already plan to, just Miranda put in a flyer for the event. I could share screen quickly and show the agenda, but what Michael was talking about, we're just bringing all kinds of voices like that because it's so eye-opening when people are addressing a specific issue, a specific constituency impacted by incarceration and subsequent release of justice-involved individuals. And there's so much to be gleaned, and there's a really big net, but there are holes in the net. And one of them sometimes, what happens with the caregivers of the children, people who are sent away, especially those for a significant amount of time. So at this rally, what we'll be focused on is talking about all the resources that are out there in the context of where can the faith community come in. So it's an interfaith ecumenical discussion about where the faith community can come in and fill in gaps when it comes to the care of individuals and their families affected by incarceration, specific to reentry of those individuals and reuniting with families. One example is a person might go to my jail and get reconnected to their faith because of some of the things that have happened in their lives, and they're having this experience and they want to share that with their family, of course, and then connect on that level as well as the recovery level with their family upon release. And so obviously the church would be one avenue for them, or it might be the temple, or it might be the mosque, but whatever that faith-based institution is, it can be there on both sides, sort of in the facility where the person is incarcerated, and then waiting there when they get out and being there for the family when they get out. So, and faith-based recovery like Salvation Army, Phoenix Rescue Mission, Teen Challenge, etc., kind of fit into that picture as well. So that's what the rally's about. And like I said, I could share a screen quickly and show the agenda, but for the most part, what I just described there, this is a kind of a quick view of, oh, no, this is something else, sorry. I thought I had it up here, but anyway, that's what I wanted to share today. Let's just let you know about that. And if you had any questions, let me know or email me.
Awesome, great. Thank you so much, Chaplain Jefferson, for joining us and sharing about what the rally is. And I think it's going to be really exciting and some really good dialogue, and I'm excited to be there. If no one has any questions, we can move on to the next.
I have a question. So, Pastor Johnson, so is your target population the churches or?
For reentry, yeah, the whole ecosystem is divided.
Have a good night, man. I'm good.
We have broad cross-section of people that will be participating. But the question is not the churches, but the faith community, speaking more broadly. However, the reentering person defines faith. What is the role of the faith community in that reentry and recovery and transition process?
Thank you. I just wanted to clarify. Appreciate you elaborating on that.
Yeah, you bet.
Does anybody else have any questions? All right, Miranda, go ahead and move on.
Well, we had invited Aaron Scott to come in from Pillars and Bridges to share what they were doing with the Safety and Justice Challenge. I've sent out flyers before to share with the community. I know they're trying to build up their collaboration, and you know, we're always trying to build up our collaboration. So they were going to share some of the things they were doing, and maybe put the word out for more people to join them. But no one from the organization is here, and I can't do it justice because I haven't been going to the meetings recently, so I'm not sure how far they've progressed in the work they're doing. So it's a shame that we don't have them, but I did, I believe in one of the flyers, they have their website, and you can check them out. And so let's see, what was the next thing on the agenda? I don't think we have Tom here either, unfortunately. Is there anyone who is doing the Fresh Start Expo that could speak on it or wants to share?
Damon Holt just jumped on.
Oh, perfect. Thank you, Dr. Holt. It's good to have you on.
Yeah, thank you.
Is he trying to get connected? Let me see. I think, Reginald, aren't you part of Fresh Start too? Or am I getting confused? Dr. Holt?
For the blind.
Yes, Dr. Holt is here.
Hey, we'd like to get a little update. I know that this is the big Saturday and last night's event.
Are you all able to hear me?
Yeah, we're able to hear you. We got Laura Conover went ahead and really pushed and talked about the event. So it would be great if you can share any last minute thoughts, any last minute needs or anything.
Thank you, Laura, for plugging us in today. I would just say, hey, just get the community out, really get the community out, especially we know people who have been disenfranchised and marginalized due to their backgrounds. And so, we just get the people out. This is going to be our fourth expo for Fresh Start in Tucson. And we're just expecting to be able to be a blessing and to help out and to assist the community. And we can always stand to get more volunteers if, you have nothing to do between that time frame and you want to help make a difference. We can always stand to get more volunteers. So, but yeah, volunteers, let's get the word out. Let's get the community out. We are on our Fresh Start Facebook page. We have the video promo. If you have an account, please go there and share, and get the word out. Because even though we have a large turnout, I still get people say, man, if I would have known you had it on October 19th, and we've been talking about October 19th since January. So so let's get the word out, let's advertise, and we're just excited to once again bring Fresh Start Expo to Tucson. Now, this is the good news. 2 weeks from this Saturday, we will be doing a Fresh Start Expo in Phoenix at the Grand Canyon University on Camelback. So this is our very first time taking it to the Maricopa County. I've gotten so many emails and so many correspondents like, man, if you could just do something for Phoenix. I got cousins up in Phoenix. I got brothers and sisters in Phoenix. Well, you asked and we heard and now we delivered. So we will also be in Phoenix. That is November the 2nd. And because Phoenix is bigger, we're going to stay open an extra hour. So in Phoenix, we're going to do 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So if you have family members, you have community members, you got church members, you name it, that's in the Phoenix area with legal issues, for the very first time, we are bringing the ultimate one-stop shop to the Maricopa County. So we're excited to be able to do both of these in 2 cities. And that's been the vision, to really cover Arizona as a state on a larger level. So now I'm getting people say, can you do something in Pinal County? Maybe so. So let's build this out. Let's perfect this model so it can become something that can fit into different cities and different counties. But we're excited. We're humble for all of our partners, all the ones who are collaborating with Fresh Start. We cannot do this alone. The issue is bigger than one organization, and we are certainly better together when we come together and put all of our expertise and resources for one mission, and that is to help people get a new beginning. So thank you.
Can I just ask a question? I want to congratulate you too, Dr. Holt, on this happening again. It's very exciting, and moving it up into Phoenix area is just very wonderful. I have a real simple question, and that's
Sure.
tabling for legal women voters. Do we come in from the east side or the west side?
You know what? I never paid attention. I think that's going to be the west, because the west, that's kind of like where we're going to be coming in next to the hotels, that entrance by the parking lot.
Okay.
Yeah, so that will be the entrance. Yes.
All right. Thank you. Thanks
Yeah.
for all you're doing.
Thank you so much.
I had a quick question, Demont.
Yeah.
Those legal clinics that you guys are having, I wasn't sure. Are you guys still doing those? Is that still I don't know.
Yeah, the empowerment clinics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we do that. We will come back around for 2025. And what we are planning is we do those every quarter. And then the expo now is the final grand finale of Fresh Start. So that's how we're planning it. So stay tuned for 2025. Once we're done with the expo in Tucson, we're going to do one last Fresh Start event. And that's going to be the Christmas giveaway for former incarcerated families that want to get some toys and get some gifts for their kids under the tree. You know, they maybe gotten out of prison, gotten out of jail, haven't landed. We understand that. So we're also going to be doing a Christmas giveaway and partner with the Goodwill. So stay tuned for that. And we're looking to do that on Silver Lake at the Goodwill on Silver Lake Road. But going into 2025, to answer your question, we will start the empowerment clinics. We're going to do those every quarter. So stay tuned. Be something for first quarter, second, third quarter, and then the fourth quarter is when we land with the expo.
Awesome. That's great. That's wonderful to hear. Also, I was wondering if we could get, if there's any flyers for the Phoenix stuff, because, you know, a lot of our returning citizens have family in Phoenix as well, but we don't get
Yes.
the Phoenix stuff. We only get the Tucson stuff.
Yeah, so
So-
if you can, do you have my email?
I do.
Okay, yeah, send me a quick email about this conversation, and then I will attach the Phoenix flyer and get it out to you so you can, that you can circulate it out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I have a question, Pastor Holt.
Yes.
As far as the response in the Maricopa community, are you having, like, there's so many courts involved in that process? How is that working? Like, how many courts will you have involved in the first Fresh Start Maricopa?
I think he might have hopped off. I can't tell. I'm looking through the, yeah, I don't see him anymore. I think he left.
He's
So.
like, I'm done. I'm out.
Okay, I guess well,
That's
it'll
okay.
be interesting.
I'm out.
No comments, no questions. Alrighty. Yeah, so I guess that was it. Unless anybody has any other announcements or events they want to share going on in the community. I think we're pretty much done. I don't want to keep anybody here longer than you have to be. It's kind of nice and short and sweet.
Hey, Miranda, the question about, I don't know if, I think it was Sandy asked a question about those that have a table at the Fresh Start event. I read somewhere that you can even set up the Friday before, and that information is going to be coming out. I guess it's going to have to be really shortly now about that. So just look out for that.
Yeah, definitely. And if people, I think there might be the information from Jfish on the flyer, but if anyone has any questions, I'm sure Jfish is going to be sending out informative stuff for the vendors. Thank you, Chaplain Jefferson.
And I know you said we were done. Anybody have any last minute stuff that we just didn't have in the agenda that you'd like to share?
This is Valerie at Vote Writers. Just a reminder that mail-in ballots went out recently. So be sure to get your ballots turned in as soon as you can.
This is Danny Howe. Again, I would just say that want to say thank you guys. Thank you, Miranda and Araceli, for keeping this going. I too feel that this is valuable. I know that there's been a lot of groups that have started conversations and got things going, but this is one that has continued to be valuable and beneficial. So I appreciate you guys keeping it going and look forward to joining it and seeing any value I can add.
Thank you,
Danny,
Dan.
by any chance, are you ready to share? Are you ready to spill the beans on your post from last week?
Not
You're not-
necessarily, still ironing some stuff out, but as you guys may have seen, so the Ernest House, we've been getting a lot of recognition as far as elected officials. We did have Governor Katie Hobbs coming toward our facilities a couple weeks ago, so that was pretty cool. She got to see the dogs and stuff that we've been taking from Pima Animal Care. So we've got a lot coming out. I don't necessarily know. I know I posted some stuff, but as you know, grants and the way money works is stuff's always fishy and wishy-washy. So at this moment, we're still just doing what we do. We have 30 beds over at the state level. I am working with Arizona DES, the reentry. So there will be some hiring events, some job fairs coming out for individuals that are either on probation or parole. So yeah, some stuff coming out, but nothing too urgent to report at the moment.
And I just want to add something real quick. In the chat, I put a link to, I developed an AI podcast for caring for caregivers. So it's kind of an outlook and some talking points. So if you guys want to, feel free to hit up that link. And again, it's AI, but it really does sound like I use Notebook LM, but it really does sound like a real live podcast with two individuals. It's really cool. But again, it's just a way of delivering content and kind of a different way of looking at things. So feel free to go ahead and click on that and download it and listen to it.
Mike, now that you're back on, thank you for sticking around. I'm sorry, my dog wants attention. Your program, right? It can be Cochise County, Pinal County, Graham. It's not confined to Pima. It could be folks in Santa Cruz, Cochise.
Yeah, they don't even have to be in Arizona.
Oh,
Yeah. So
okay. All right. So just want to make sure, like Pastor Jefferson, that you're well aware of this as a resource, even in Pinal. And then I see Dr. Holt is back on. Pastor Holt, I had a question.
Sorry
You're like,
about that. My computer said, "Oh, we're gonna restart in the middle of everything." So,
yeah. What kind of response are you getting from the courts in the Maricopa area, and what courts will you have there? Because obviously you have Glendale, you have Chandler, you have.
yeah, I'm glad you asked that. I'm gonna be honest with you; they really frustrated me because of the fact that we've been working on this all year. And so some courts are saying, oh, we're gonna have some logistics, issues, so we're not sure we can be a part and things like that. I know we got Maricopa Justice Court. I'm just waiting to hear from the presiding judge from Phoenix City Court, so we can have some magistrates there to deal with the misdemeanors. I have some Superior Court judges from Maricopa County really interested, but they're saying that they're having some logistic issues, so they might not be able to attend this year, but most definitely next year. So yeah, and I kind of expect it because it's just a bigger monster that we have some issues like that. And so we can't have the Superior. That'd be fine. We'll still be able to do a lot of that pre-work first, because most people that's going to see the Superior Courts anyway for conviction set-asides, for sealing your records, as far as all of those voters' rights restoration. You got to go do that paperwork anyway, so we'll be able to help them with that, and then they can set a future court date and see the Superior Court judge for that anyway. So, and this is our first year, and they totally new to this model, so I expected a little couple kinks, but we'll get through it. But most of all the parties going to be there. We're going to be really strong on felony-friendly employment, housing, all of those other things as well. So we have some attorneys that's going to be there as well. So I think we're going to be good for our first one, and then obviously Next year, we're gonna go even harder, make sure all of those systems are in place and things of that nature. But just to pull it off for such a much bigger city and get one under our belt, is gonna be huge for us, a good win. So yeah, to answer your question, yeah, then I'm used to Tucson. We move like a machine, so we get to brag Tucson like we got this thing down on perfection. So Phoenix got to catch up, but yeah, we'll get through it, and we'll do even bigger and better for 2025.
So it will look slightly different, but you're still, okay. Any
Yeah.
chance for anybody, is any of those courts coming down here to see how Phoenix?
I did invite them to come so that they can get, they said they have something, I think they call this like stand down. So I think it's kind of like a smaller version of what we do here. But one of the judges last year came to Fresh Start because he thought like we was a exact replica of what they did until he came. He was like, oh my God, like Tucson, you guys got this thing together. And so he went back and reported back like, yeah, this is even bigger than what we expected. So we really got to lock it down. So it will look a little different this year. The next year, most definitely, we will have all of the, at least most of it, because we look at all of the outer municipalities like your Glendales and your Avondales and your Mesas and your Gilberts, and it's just a lot of extra moving parts. But next year it'll be better, and to be more people will be at the table. But for our first one, I think it's going to be great. I can't hear you. I think you're on mute.
Thanks for sharing. I was just hoping that, as we share resources, that we can give a clearer version of what they should expect, as opposed to thinking it's going to be exactly like us.
Yeah. Yeah, I told them, I said, you guys really need to come down. I even sent them our documentary, say, hey, really, take a look at this so you can get a visual. But if you can, come down to our October event so you can really get a big picture of it. And I think that they assumed the wrong, like, oh, and then they saw like how many moving parts and how strategic and logistically this stuff really got to be. I think, I probably surprised them, but next year we have more courts and things of that nature. But to have this, they'll have some city courts and have the justice courts to really be helping us on the squashing your warrants, because that's a lot of people. A lot of people got court fees and fines. They need help on suspended driver's license. We're going to be able to handle a lot of that stuff.
That's wonderful. Does anybody else have anything they want to share or ask? I just want to take again a moment to say thank you, Miranda. I know that I say, hey, I ran into this person, boom, can you get them on? But just know that all your efforts are not taken lightly. We appreciate you in everything that you do. And just, I don't know if Tony shared this yesterday, but I know that he is looking to come back and share the Forgotten Prisoner again in December. So we're hoping, and part of that would be that we would tie in a viewing or showing this to our incarcerated at the federal prison. So I will be reaching out to some of you to see if you can be part of a panel that would follow that documentary. So just know this is in the works, and we hope you can support our guys, because I truly believe that this is such a, like inmate ways of thinking, the criminal thinking, the survival that occurs to individuals while they're behind the bars is they truly lose sight of what their children are experiencing and what they're feeling. So, I'll be reaching out, and I appreciate everyone. Again, Miranda, we couldn't thank you enough. Is there any last minute thoughts on your behalf?
No, I appreciate all of you. I'm grateful for everybody who keeps showing up. Like the collaboration, you're right. There's so much value here, and learning all the resources and sharing it. That's, it's what helped me when I needed help. And so to be able to do that for other people and to keep sharing this, no matter what happens, this little engine, that code coalition, is going to keep going. So Thank you all so much for taking time to be here and for sharing all the stuff that you're doing and for continuing to do the amazing work that you do. You know, it's inspiring and it keeps me.
I would like to just say something real quick before we end. Is that not only we do the expos, we do the clinics, but we do have a podcast and show on 106 The Groove, one Fresh Start show that comes on every Saturday. And I always like to think, you know, Fresh Start is a catalyst. Fresh Start likes to create energy and synergy with all of the organizations that's helping form incarcerated communities and populations. We want to give you a spotlight on our show. This is not just about me and my vision. This is about all of us as a community. So if you want to come on to our show and push out your mission, maybe you got a certain service that you offer and you need people, come use our platform to tell us what you're doing and tell the community. This is not just about Demond Holt, me and my four and no more. This is about the whole city. So I invite all of you. We record on Friday, so at 2:15. So if you're available, please let me know. Send me a notification. You want to come on the show, we get you on the show. It's enough for everybody. All y'all can come on the show, and that'll just fill me up for the for the first 6 months. And I just love to just have all of y'all. So if that's an opportunity for you, I just wanted to throw that out there, because sometimes we're like, this is so many people could have came on the show, like, and been a guest, and I see all these names and all these organizations. So please, if you want, we're opening that door for you.
Thank you so much for offering that, Demont. That the returning citizens, they get to hear the podcast, don't they, while they're still in?
Yeah, I actually got a few letters, so I just think it's very powerful and it's dope. But I believe God gave me this platform, obviously, you know, to have a bully pulpit and speak about the issues that what our brothers and sisters go through in the form incarcerated. But again, that's just not for me. Like, I want that to be a community pulpit, a community platform for many of the CEOs and executive directors and other coordinators that is out here doing this work. Come on to the show, share your story, share your mission, and we all can eat together and touch lives and change lives.
Well, this is a Pima County Reentry Coalition meeting. Second Chance Tucson cannot thank you enough with all the hype that you guys, you know, I really felt like that job fair was a success because they were hearing about this before they hit the door, when they hit the door, and then of course, you know, family members were able to also hear about this. So thank you so much. We appreciate everybody. Appreciate everybody that joins us and all the work that is being done in our Tucson community. We have an amazing platform, and I always say a playground of people who just play so nice with one another, yet, and also, you know, continuously share the knowledge. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you, Mike.
Thanks, everybody.